A warm welcome to Energy Frontiers, proudly supported by the African Energy Chamber, the continent's leading industry advocacy organization with its headquarters in Johannesburg, South Africa. I am Justina Okechukwu, and let's get started with some of the biggest energy news around the continent. TotalEnergies has awarded a contract to Schlumberger's OneSubsea joint venture for a 13-well subsea production system scope, including associated equipment and services in the development of a Kaminho project in offshore Angola. Esso Exploration International Limited, a subsidiary of American energy giant ExxonMobil Corporation, has signed 2 reconnaissance contracts with Morocco's state-owned National Office of Hydrocarbons and Mines. The contracts entailed exploration operations in Morocco's Safi Essaouira and Agadir Ifni offshore areas. Apex International Energy has provided an update of its operations and commercial developments in Egypt's Western Desert for the first half of 2024. The company reported reaching a production milestone of 12,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day and a 14% increase in audited 2P reserves to 29 million barrels of oil equivalent. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has approved the sale of key onshore oil assets, which will see ENI's Nigerian Ajib Oil Company unit's assets transferred to O&O, while Equinor's assets will go to Project Odimem. In other energy news, the Republic of Congo in Central Africa has signed a deal with the Dubai-based renewable energy company, Amir Power, for the construction of a 100-megawatt solar photovoltaic facility. United States engineering services company, Tetra Tech Incorporated, says the firm has secured a $73 million single award contract from the U.S. Agency for International Development, which would help to increase access to affordable and reliable electricity in 18 West African countries. In the meantime, Nigeria has won a highly competitive bid to host the headquarters of the new multi-billion-dollar African Energy Bank, beating 3 other African countries in the bidding process for rights to the specialized investment bank, which was midwifed by the African Petroleum Producers Organization, the Afrexim Bank, and the African Union. The hosting decision was reached at an extraordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers of the African Petroleum Producers Organization during the week. And that's the summary of your energy news headlines. When we return, we get highlights from the Energy Week conference and exhibition just concluded in Nigeria. The Nigerian Oil and Gas Energy Week conference and exhibition, which took place in the week from June 30 to July 4 in the capital city of Abuja, is the West African country's largest event in the sector. The high-profile conference brought together policymakers and energy professionals from around the world to exchange dialogue, showcase cutting-edge technological advancements, identify innovative solutions, and forge business partnerships that will shape the future of energy. Here is a keynote address from the Secretary General of the Gas Exporting Countries Forum, His Excellency Engineer Muhammad Hamel, during the Nigeria Oil and Gas Week.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with due respect to all protocol observed, I extend my warmest greetings to each of you. It is an honor to speak before you today at the Nigerian Oil and Gas Conference. At the outset, I would like to pay tribute to a respected professional and diplomat with whom I had the privilege of collaborating within the framework of OPEC. His final address at this very NOG conference 2 years ago left a lasting impression. The late Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo. May his soul rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to recognize Nigeria's long-standing membership in the GECF. Nigeria actively contributes to the forum, and the staff members from your esteemed country are great assets to the organization. On behalf of the GECF, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Nigeria on declaring this decade as the decade of gas, with the goal of transforming into a gas-powered economy by 2030. Your esteemed country possesses the abundant natural resources, skillful human capital, and innovative capabilities necessary to transform this ambitious goal into a reality. Nigeria's population is projected to reach 370 million people by 2050, positioning it as the third most populous country globally after India and China. This reality underscores both the immense opportunity for economic development and the challenge of meeting escalating demands for food, water, energy, education, healthcare, and employment. This challenge is indeed not unique to Nigeria alone, but resonates across Africa, as highlighted during the inaugural workshop on natural gas for Africa, organized by the GECF on Africa Day. Empowering the growing population and enhancing living standards in an inclusive and sustainable manner will undoubtedly require greater access to energy, reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy. According to the latest GECF Global Gas Outlook projections, African primary energy demand is expected to more than double by 2050. To meet this growing demand, all energy sources and technologies shall contribute, with energy policies and strategies tailored to each country's unique circumstances, capabilities, and priorities. However, as Nigeria has astutely recognized by launching the Decade for Gas, the role of natural gas is pivotal. Available, flexible, and versatile, natural gas, the cleanest of hydrocarbons, plays a crucial role in ensuring energy security and reducing indoor pollution and deforestation, improving urban air quality, lowering greenhouse gas emissions, and providing stability to renewable energy systems. Last but not least, as a key feedstock in fertilizer production, natural gas supports food security and helps eradicate hunger. Global demand for natural gas is projected to increase by 34% over the period to 2050, with its share in the global energy mix expected to rise from 23% today to 26% by 2050. The cumulative investment required for upstream and midstream sectors is projected to exceed $9 trillion. Calls to halt investment in natural gas threaten market stability and future supply security. This stance is particularly unjust for African countries, which bear no historical responsibility for climate change and contribute only 3% to global greenhouse gas emissions. This nation should not be penalized for utilizing their natural resources to uplift their populations out of poverty. The Algiers Declaration, adopted by the GECF 7th Summit, underscored the urgent necessity for timely investment and seamless flow of financial resources to ensure energy security and maintain market stability. The summit also highlighted the crucial role of technology in enhancing the security, affordability, and sustainability of natural gas. Member countries have decided to expand their cooperation in this area, as exemplified by the inauguration of the Gas Research Institute in Algiers in March. Ladies and gentlemen, my final message is about the upcoming UN Climate Conference, which will be hosted by the Republic of Azerbaijan, a GECF member country. Firstly, I extend my gratitude to Right Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpu, Minister of State Petroleum Resources for Gas, for honoring us with his participation in the ministerial panel held in the GECF pavilion at COP28. Secondly, I am pleased to announce that the GECF will once again host a pavilion in Baku, and I warmly invite you all to join us there. As we did last year, we are committed to playing an active role in the run-up to and during COP29. We will ensure coordination among member countries and advocate for natural gas as a pivotal resource for sustainable development and for equitable, orderly, and just energy transitions that leave no one behind.
When Energy Frontiers return, we take a look at opportunities in Nigeria's renewable energy landscape.
We are done dreaming of an industrialized
This is Energy Frontiers. The deployment of waste-to-energy solutions is dependent on how much the government is willing to implement policies and regulations that enable investment into the continent. That's according to Lolade Oresonwo, co-founder of West Africa Energy, an environmental and renewable energy company focused on the West African region. In this exclusive chat with Frontier Africa Reports, Lolade speaks to me about the key steps to fast-tracking renewable energy deployment in Nigeria.
It's all about, and I'm very clear about it, there are policies and there are regulations, but it's how far we're willing to implement them, and it's about government now taking a decision to say, we will be enablers, we will encourage people to come into Nigeria and expand waste to energy, wind, solar, particularly what are we doing with our waste? Lagos alone generates in excess of 15,000 metric tons of waste a day. I mean, yes, there's policies to say, yes, we want to recycle and we want to encourage, waste to energy companies to thrive. But walk the talk, work with people, work with companies. And obviously, beyond being just government alone is access to affordable capital. Waste to energy projects are in excess of $120 million for a 20 megawatt plant. That is significant investment. And at current Naira rates to dollar exchange, there's an exchange rate problem or risk. There is also interest rate risk because we don't know where we're going in terms of our interest rate. So it gets people and investors quite jittery. So, and it gets me jittery to say, where is the future lying? But I believe so much in Nigeria, and I believe so much that there is there is a potential for growth in clean energy in Nigeria, and the access is there. So we just need to tap into that and build on that. I mean, excitingly, this is why we're here today, the Power Africa program with USAID and Chapel Hill Denham. I'm very, very fortunate as a company to have partnered with Chapel Hill Denham. They're not just financiers, and I said it before, they're working with us as, co-developers of projects that make sense, like our renewable energy, our waste to energy project. So they're not just going to find cheap access to capital, they are also going to be part of the growth strategy of the company. And that is what every business needs, to find advisors and financiers that are able to walk the growth path with them and help them to scale.
Meanwhile, Nigeria faces a unique challenge in achieving universal energy access. However, decentralized solutions such as interconnected mini-grids have offered some ray of hope for remote communities. And this is where Husk Power Systems comes into the picture. Olu Arike, the country director for Nigeria at Husk Power Systems, speaks to me on what his company brings to the table.
I think the most important thing is understanding the power of collaboration, right? For us who operate, who have been, Husk as a company has been operating in largely off-grid areas. The distribution companies have been now operating in, they own their on-grid areas. Now it is, the best way for us to find the best pathway for us to collaborate, to be able to meet at points that match what both kind of companies want. And that has been backed by law already. So the mini grid regulations of 2023 has already said we can do interconnected mini grids in areas where DISCO might not be providing reliable power. And then there's an opportunity for companies like ourselves to step in. Recently we also committed a 250 megawatts of renewable energy deployments in Nigeria. A huge percentage of that we believe will come from these interconnected mini grid solutions. And we are open and very willing to work with DISCOs who want to take the same approach jointly and collaborate to find the best solutions to bridge the unreliable power gap in these areas, and also the collections and losses gaps in these areas for them while serving the customers reliably. The Electricity Act of 2023 is one. Mini grid regulations revised from 2016 into 2023 has also, sparked a revolution you see with companies like ourselves. But more has to be done. There has to be deliberate policy around component importation, maybe like tax waivers over a short-term period to ensure that these components are, readily available, with the right standards, right? So there also has to be standardization policies that come into play to ensure that if the components are coming in over the short term into the country, they are coming in, at the right standards, meeting the right standards and all of that. And over a mid-term, we can then say we're transiting to local manufacturing. So such policies that has a short-term, mid-term and long-term kind of outlook makes sense to transit us from importation to some local manufacturing and total local manufacturing, because that is the only way, that is one of the things missing to drive scale in our sector.
The City of London will be hosting the African Energy Chamber's Invest in African Energy reception on July 11 at the Four Seasons Hotel, Park Lane. The reception will connect foreign investors with African project opportunities and aims to kick off discussions and deals that will be continued at the African Energy Week scheduled for November 4 to 8 in Cape Town, South Africa. You can register for the London reception now at www.aecweek.com. Have you been listening to our new Energy News Now daily podcast? Well, the audiocast, which debuted on July 1st, gives you a fast-paced snapshot of your latest energy news and information from across Africa and around the world. You can connect from any podcast hosting platform on your device or visit Frontier Africa Reports YouTube or website to get the entire scoop. See all the details right now on your screen. And that's the package of Energy Frontiers for you at this time. We appreciate you making the time to watch the show as always. Remember to follow the program on Frontier Africa Reports website Like all the video editions, send in your comments, and subscribe to our YouTube. Kindly follow us as well across all our social media handles as indicated on the screen. I am Justina Okechukwu. Bye-bye.